This is an analysis and critique of a dissertation by Wallace-Spurgin. Educating individuals at a distance can often present challenges for both the learner as well as the educator. One such challenge includes the lack of self-regulated learning strategies within the individual student, as well as the ability of the educator to effectively teach self-regulation strategies. A recent study titled "The Effects of Self-Regulated Learning Strategies on the Achievement of Students Transitioning to Online Learning" was meant to demonstrate, quote, that self-regulation interventions could make a significant impression on the academic performance of students engaged in a course where self-regulatory techniques are implicitly taught and integrated into a given course in relation to the academic performance of similar students who have not benefited from such instruction, end quote. Techniques include non-linguistic representations, such as mind maps, concept maps, diagrams, and graphic organizers, metacognitive questioning prompts, and feedback on achievement. The researchers sought to answer two questions. One, how do instructional scaffolds improve the academic achievement of students? And two, how do instructional scaffolds improve the academic achievement of students with less self-regulation more than they improve the academic achievement of students with more self-regulation? According to the researcher, the purpose of this study is to determine the effects of the self-regulatory scaffolds or non-linguistic representations, metacognitive questioning prompts, and feedback on achievement of female students with different levels of self-regulation who are transitioning from studying in a teacher-centered traditional classroom to studying in a virtual environment. A comprehensive review of the literature supports the importance of self-regulation in terms of overall success in various situations such as online environments. Two theoretical perspectives described in detail include the generative learning theory and the social cognitive theory. The researcher points out that there are four assumptions common to both theories. 1. Learners are active in constructing their own aspirations based on their personal environment and cognitive factors. 2. People are capable of monitoring the cognitive, motivational, and social aspects of learning. 3. Factors out of the control of the individual, such as development and heredity, can influence regulation. And 4. Self-regulatory learning principles emphasize the human capacity to set goals, evaluate learning against those goals, and reset activities based on the results of the work in progress. Empirical studies discussed within the literature review focus on the scaffolding techniques to actively teach self-regulatory strategies. As a result of the findings, the researcher is able to identify 3 distinct scaffolding strategies to be used within their research. The 3 scaffolding strategies include cognitive, metacognitive, and motivational prompts, non-linguistic representations of information to include student-generated concept maps, mind maps, diagrams, and graphic organizers, and timely and specific feedback. Detail about the subject's design, approach, methods, procedure, and the statistical analysis was provided. Participants in the study were 55 women between the ages of 19 and 25 from all around the world. Recruited from social media sites such as Facebook and Twitter, the participants were called upon to enroll in an intervention course to last 6 months. The course was designed to be self-paced and offer the women an opportunity to further their education outside of the traditional setting. Prior to the start of the course and at the end of the course, subjects were given the Motivated Strategies for Learning questionnaire, the MSLQ. The questionnaire consisted of 81 questions and had 2 main sections and 15 subsections. The researcher used 57 questions of the 81 to include only the subsections relevant to the study. The MSLQ was used to measure self-regulation before the course began, as well as upon completion of the course. Final grades were also used within the analysis of data. Subjects were randomly placed into 4 groups: the control group, and a group for each of the instructional scaffolds as mentioned in the literature review. Constants included the duration of lectures, homework, and tests. Grades were assigned based on participation within the course, quizzes, 1 research paper, journal entries, and a final exam. According to the researcher, this study was designed to identify and validate scaffolds that instructors can teach to transitioning students to help them develop skills that will help them academically. Unfortunately, only 14 of the 55 enrolled students responded, with not all questions being answered by the 14 students. In addition to a very few of the subjects completing the questionnaire, 0 subjects completed the intervention course. As a result, the researcher received special permission to continue the study. In addition to the MSLQ, a final survey consisting of 6 questions was sent out at the end of the 6 months. Only 3 students responded, but responses were of interest. For example, 2 students indicated the lack of interactions among the instructor and students led them to withdraw from the course. And all of the students that responded stated that they would take another online course, quote, if the factors that prevented them from completing the course would be corrected, end quote. All questions and results were presented for the readers in the appendices in a clear and concise manner, as well as labeled correctly. The researcher provides a concise discussion and summary of the major findings, and although no one completed the design intervention course and the questions sought in the study remain unanswered, additional issues were brought to light that are relevant to distant educators and future research. For example, the course was offered free of cost. One might wonder if offered for a fee, would the students have taken the coursework more seriously and completed the course? Also noted as a result of the responses gathered from the 6 questions in the final survey, learners expressed the need of an increase of interactions among the instructor and fellow classmates to avoid a sense of isolation. The researcher recommended the following future research. 1. Determine the correct amount of time to retain full feedback. 2. Teachers have not embraced teaching self-regulatory skills. Why not? And 3. Repeat the same study in 5 to 10 years with students that have online experiences. Based on the criteria found within the Applied Dissertation rubric and the Dissertation General rubric, I would award full points. To no fault of the researcher, I would not necessarily award an extra point for a superb dissertation worthy for publication based solely on the fact that no one completed the intervention course. Without data, it is impossible to know if the 3 identified scaffolding strategies help students to develop self-regulating skills that help them academically. However, the responses collected from the 6 questions found on the final survey are quite interesting, particularly the fact that students reported a sense of isolation and the need for an increase in instructor-student interactions, as well as reporting that if all issues were cleared up, they would be interested in taking an additional online course.